Are you a fan of pirates? Even if you are not, I'm sure that you love good JRPGs, and today I'm going to show you a very good one. Great story, unique battle system, and very interesting premises. Personally, I'm not a fan of pirates, but I put about 45 hours into this game. I was fancy playing a JRPG again, and I had decided to check out Skies of Arcadia on GameCube as it received a lot of praise, so despite I was not a fan of pirate stuff, I gave a chance to the game, and oh boy, I'm so glad that I did. This game is good. But what is Skies of Arcadia is about in a nutshell? Imagine a world where continents float in the sky, pirates fly airships instead of sailing seas, and adventure waits you behind every cloud. Okay, this was very bad, I admit it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Skies of Arcadia. What's up my fellow retro gamers out there? Welcome on the Backlog Quest, where we are celebrating the golden era of gaming. I'm Mr. Zosta, your guide through gaming's greatest gems. Buckle up as the time machine is ready to launch. Skies of Arcadia first launched in 2000 on the Sega Dreamcast, developed by Overworks, an internal Sega team with talent for the Fantasy Star series. It was praised for its vast world, likable characters, and unique airship exploration, but due to the Dreamcast's short lifespan, many players missed out. Thankfully, in 2002, the game got a second chance re-released on the Nintendo GameCube as Skies of Arcadia Legends, with some tweaks, added story content, and less frequent random encounters. More than 20 years ago, critics loved it. IGN gave it a 9.2, calling it a must-have for any RPG fan. GameSpot awarded it an 8.5, praising its charm and sense of scale. And even now, it's sitting comfortably with a Metacritic score of 86 for the GameCube version. Despite I have seen better stories in other JRPGs, the story of Skies of Arcadia is good and lightweighted. It is not going to destroy emotionally, it is really fun and engaging story which keeps you interested throughout the game. It does not have boring parts which are dragging out too long and you just want to skip it. But what the story is about? Let me tell you in a spoiler-free way. You play as Wise, a young and optimistic sky pirate, well, a blue rogue to be precise. He and his childhood friend Aika stumble upon a mysterious girl named Fina, who is on a secret mission tied to ancient civilizations and powerful relics. From there, you swept into a journey that spans floating continents, deep dungeons, haunted lands, and military empires. The story balances light-hearted adventure with moments of real tension. It's about friendship, rebellion, exploration, and hope. The characters aren't brooding anti-heroes, they are fun, passionate, and determined. It's got a little bit of Saturday morning anime energy, but with enough depth to keep all the players engaged. What really sells the narrative though is the world itself. You don't just go from point A to B, you sail there. You chart your own path, discover hidden islands, and sell the information to merchants while slowly build your own crew. There's a real sense of freedom that few JRPGs have captured since. The only thing what I want to mention here is what I found very generic in the story and seen in many other JRPGs, that you have to find crystals which belongs to the main elements. It was a bit of a downside for me, but luckily the main plot was much more interesting, so this crystal thing was stayed in the background for most of the time. Let me introduce you the main characters of Skies of Arcadia. Wise is the main protagonist, a sky pirate with a strong moral compass and a thirst for adventure. He is confident, courageous, and always willing to stand up for what's right, even when the odds are against him. He dreams of exploring the entire world, and his determination helps hold the group together. Aika is Wise's longtime friend and a fellow blue rogue. She is cheerful, sarcastic, and impulsive, but also fiercely loyal. Her upbeat personality keeps the team energized, and she's always ready to jump into a fight with a smile. And the boomerang. Drachma is a no-nonsense one-armed veteran who pilots a heavily armored ship. He seems cold and distant at first, but there's a tragic story behind his gruff exterior. He provides raw strength in battle and wisdom born from painful experience. Combat in Skies of Arcadia is a traditional turn based on the ground. Each character gets their own turn, and you choose from basic attacks, magic, items, or powerful special moves, which has cool special scenes. What adds a layer of strategy is the shared spirit meter, a pool of points that powers magic and specials. You can see this bar on the top of the screen. If you are not using any special attacks or magic in the turn, this bar will be filled up, or if you use the focus ability of any of your characters, this will add extra points to the bar. Once it's filled up with enough points, you can release devastating special moves or special magic with one or more of your characters. Managing the spirit bar between party members becomes crucial, especially in tougher fights. What is very cool is the way you learn new magic skills. You can change which moonstone color you assign to your weapon. For example, if you assign the silver color, after a battle you receive points to your silver moonstone, and if you reach enough points, a new magic skill will be available. You need to plan advance which color you are going to use with which character. Weapon properties can also swap mid-battle to take advantage of elements' weaknesses, which keeps the system feeling fresh even dozens of hours in. It is interesting, sometimes I'm perfectly fine with a very basic battle system in JRPGs like early Final Fantasies or the Dragon Quest games where you just mash the buttons, and most of the times you do not have to plan your strategy, but sometimes a more complex battle system is refreshing and keeps battles fun. But the real fun is the airship combat. This adds a completely different combat into the game, makes the experience even more better. These air combats are slow-paced, tactical battles where you plan moves across multiple turns. Think of it as a mini strategy RPG layered on top of your adventure. You fire cannons, launch magic, and time your best shots for the perfect turn when the enemy is vulnerable. There is also customization involved. You can upgrade your ship's armor, weapons, and hire crew members that give passive bonuses to special actions. You can see this little table on the top of the screen. This is where you can give commands to your crew, which cannon you will fire, or you are going to focus to gather points on the spirit meter. You probably noticed that each box has a different color. Green means that you have a good chance to shoot and damage the enemy, yellow is still okay, but not the best option, and red means that you should focus on defense or healing in that turn. These ship battles are few and far between, but they are really fun. They make you feel like a sky pirate captain planning your next big takedown, and if you want, you can check out the vendor list in different towns and hunt down black pirates who are the bad guys in the skies. I want to mention boss battles, as there are a few interesting boss battles in the game. Many bosses are tied directly to the story. Some are elite members of the Valyrian Armada, others are massive creatures tied to ancient civilizations, and a few are straight up surprises that test your party's coordination and resource management. For example, these guys. I rage quitted here quite a few times, and I was ready to give up on the game as they beat the shit out of me. If you take a look, they have different colored crystals in their heads. This means that, for example, the purple colored weapon can be used against... No, not against the purple crystal enemy, instead against the red crystal enemy. Oh, by the time I figured this out, and they kept using these fucking dead walls or something, which makes huge damage to your entire party. So I focused on beating one of these cunts, so when of them were dead, they couldn't do this bullshit attack anymore. Just like regular combat, boss fights use the spirit point system, and knowing when to save up for a huge special move like Y's Cutlass Fury or Aika's Delta Shield can make or break a fight. Some bosses will punish you for using magic, others force you to balance healing with offense constantly. And then there are the airship boss battles. Facing off against giant warships, flying creatures, or naval captains with souped up vessels, this feels cinematic. You study enemy patterns, defend when the enemy is about to unleash a powerful cannon barrage, and fire everything you got when their guard drops. You even use your ship's unique crew abilities, which can turn the tide in a tight fight. Very well done, developers. So, for boss battles you need to prepare, you need to make smart decisions, and you have to know if you can take a risk in that turn. They are not overly punishing, except a few of them, but they are intense enough to keep you on your toes. And beating them is always satisfying. I have good news for those who does not enjoy mindless grinding, huge difficulty spikes and high encounter rates. Skies of Arcadia does not have them, which was a huge bonus for me. If you are familiar with my content, you know that I don't mind a bit of grinding here and there, but the mindless grinding before a boss fight, or just because there's a massive difficulty spike in the game, is not for me. The difficulty curve in Skies of Arcadia is just perfect. You don't even notice it. My characters had enough levels, I had enough money to buy the best gear for my crew and for my ship every time when I entered into a new town. The encounter rate is just perfect. You can explore a dungeon, making a good progress without bumping into a fight after taking a few steps. In my opinion, this is the best way to experience a long game, as it takes about 45 hours to finish the game, and if it would be filled with parts where you have to grind, the game would lose its flow of the story. And now, let's see what I really enjoyed in Skies of Arcadia. First of all, the premise. Living on small and big islands, flying in the air with cool airships was very fun and refreshing from the normal ground exploration what we used to in other JRPGs. And despite you are exploring the skies, there are tons of towns, fortresses, dungeons are there to explore. The variety in scenery is very good, you are always going to be at a new premise. The story is lightweighted, but it's constantly interesting. There are no boring parts where you just want to fast forward. I also love the characters. The conversation interactions between them was good, fun and interesting. A small but important thing is that the controls and the camera is also very good in the game. On the minimap you can constantly see which areas are still need to be explored in a dungeon. This is really helpful. The difficulty and the encounter rate is also very good. For me, this is just the perfect balance. So, after all these so many good things what I just said, is there anything what I don't like in Skies of Arcadia? Nothing really major. I really had to think to find something. If I had to say one thing, is that sometimes the exploration and to find where you have to go next is not easy. Sometimes it is related to puzzles or finding specific statues on various islands, and the statues will point into a direction where you need to go. This could be considered as negative things, but if you're looking at from an exploration point, this could be a positive aspect for some people. Apart from this, I cannot really say anything bad about this game. And this comes down to the conclusion of this video. Should you play Skies of Arcadia? It is probably not going to surprise you, but yes, if you love JRPGs, this is a must play. The game has very interesting and unique aspects like the air combat, the spirit point system, and the whole premise is good even if you are not a fan of pirates as myself. Between its charming characters, massive explorable skies, and unique airship combat, Skies of Arcadia feels like a lost treasure. Yes, it was cheesy again. Skies of Arcadia is a game that more people need to experience. And that's it! This game has been cleared from my backlog. I hope that you enjoyed this time travel back to the golden era of gaming. If you're not a member of our retro gaming community, join us by subscribing. Also, the YouTube algorithm shows some videos for you. It is on the screen now, check them out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Backlog Quest video.